Hi, everyone. My name is Ty Adams, and I want to welcome you to Marketplace 2020. Thank you for joining us today for Alcohol to Go. Please feel free to engage and ask questions using our Q&A window below. Without further delay, I'm excited to introduce our Big Ben stage sponsor, Texas Mutual.
In response to the pandemic, Texas Mutual will distribute $330 million in dividends to eligible policyholders 2 months ahead of schedule. We're also sending $2 million to nonprofits on the front lines of the COVID-19 effort. Better days are coming, but in the meantime, we'll be on the job helping Texas businesses. To learn how dividends are supporting employers in this time of need, go to texasmutual.com/dividends.
Wow, that was exciting. We love Texas Mutual. To kick this session off, I would like to introduce our moderator, our very own, the VP of our Government Affairs, the beautiful, none other, Miss Kelsey Schwafford.
Thank you, Ty. You are too sweet. We are really excited about this panel. We've got three really awesome experts and guests joining us today to discuss a topic that I know so many of you care about and has been so critical to your businesses during this time, and that's alcohol to go. So let me introduce our panelists briefly, and then Kara is going to have a presentation for us, kind of going over the rules of the road, if you will. And then we're going to bring Ellis and Maurice into it for a Q&A and a discussion about sort of what's working, how this looks in the real world. So today we've got Kara Stevens. Kara began her career with the Texas Alcoholic Beverage Commission in August 2010 as an auditor stationed in the Amarillo office. In October 2019, Kara was promoted to Regional Audit Supervisor for the Audit and Investigations Division Region 1. She's stationed in the Amarillo office and oversees audit personnel stationed in El Paso, Odessa, Lubbock, and Abilene. We also have with us Ellis Winstanley. Ellis began turning around distressed restaurants while a student at the University of Texas, graduating with 2 successful restructurings under his belt. Since then, Ellis has led or played key roles in restructuring and startups in the restaurant, apparel, promotional, construction, software, and real estate industries. Ellis's breadth of experience allows him a unique and creative perspective to business solutions. Ellis currently serves as the president of Cozumel Impresses, the holding company for El Arroyo in Austin, Texas. And Ellis, I have to tell you, your signs were brought up on multiple panels yesterday, so they're really making the rounds.
Fantastic.
And then last but certainly not least, we have Maurice Said. Maurice is president and CEO of the Costa Pacifica Restaurant Group and co-founder of Dr. Sumrisis, a nonprofit which helps children between the ages of 2 and 15 who have terminal illnesses. He was born and raised in Monterrey, Mexico. He owns and operates Costa Pacifica and is a franchise owner of Barbecuity Smokehouse Restaurant. So thank you all for joining us today. Kara, we can go ahead and get started with that presentation whenever you're ready.
Sounds good. And like I said, it's a little bit of a long presentation, but I'm going to go through it a little quickly just so that we can have plenty of time for questions and answers. So give me just a second. I'm going to share my screen real quick. Okay. Can everyone see it? Hope so. Let's see. So again, I'm Kara Stevens. I'm the Regional Supervisor for Audit Investigations Divisions here at TABC. And my presentation today is going to be for the guidance for Texas restaurants in regards to selling alcohol to go, delivering alcohol, and limiting liability. So just a quick little overview. We're going to go over restaurant to go sales, restaurant deliveries using our BG and MB permit authority, restaurant deliveries involving a consumer delivery permit, general liability for to-go and delivery orders. And then there's a liability for non-CD permit holder transactions and liability for consumer delivery permit transactions. This includes the liability for the retailer, the CD permit holder, and the delivery driver. And then I'll follow it up with a presentation summary. So let's begin. First off, just for our general authority for restaurant to-go sales. So your to-go transactions occur when a business sells alcohol to a consumer and transfers the product to the consumer at the business's location. So this possession and transfer must take place either on the business's licensed permitted premise or at a nearby location that's under its direct or indirect control. So such as inside the business, curbside, an adjacent parking lot, or a boat dock. And of course, this just means that the consumer is coming to your location, picking up the order, and taking it away to consume responsibly at their home or elsewhere. So for our beer and wine only on-premise businesses, they can sell, for the BG permits, the wine and beer retailer permits, they can sell wine, beer, and malt liquors with an ABV that does not exceed 17%. Your BE permits can sell beer, and then your brew pub licenses, which are a subordinate permit, they can, depending on their primary permit type, they can sell malt, liquor, ale, or beer. The order contents, these deliveries, to-go deliveries, everything may include any number of beers, ales, and or wines, and alcohol does not need to be accompanied with food. And these containers can be sealed by the retailer, so the retailer may mix and sell for delivery wine and beer-based cocktails. Now, your mixed beverage permits, currently under Texas statutes, mixed beverage permits are not allowed to do to-go sales, though Governor Abbott did waive this due to coronavirus disaster. So this waiver does last from March 13th of 2020 until the governor revokes it. And so qualifying restaurants may sell alcoholic beverages to the consumer, which can pick up from the restaurant. So what mixed beverage permits can do this? Only those who have a permanent food preparation facility at the premise. They do not have to have the TABC food and beverage certificate. And then your brew pub, if they also hold an MB, can also do these to-go sales. So they can also include any number of beer, ales, wines, and or distilled spirits, but these purchases must be accompanied with food. The beer, ale, and wine must be in original containers that are sealed by the manufacturer. Distilled spirits, beforehand, just a while back and everything, beforehand, mixed beverage locations couldn't actually mix their drinks, but now we've relaxed that a little bit. And so your mixed beverage permittees, they actually can make mixed drinks. The container must be sealed with an adhesive label. Tape is acceptable. The adhesive label states the name of the retailer and the word alcoholic beverage on it. The retailer sealed container is placed in a bag that the retailer seals with a zip tie or some other object, and the mixed drink is not transported in the passenger area of a motor vehicle. Now, distilled spirit containers, though, that are sold individually still must be in containers that do not exceed 375 milliliters. Private clubs, those still cannot do any sort of to-go sales, even with Governor Abbott's temporary authorities. Now, this applies to all to-go transactions. The employee completing the transaction must be 18, the recipient must be 21 and not intoxicated, and the time of the transaction must be completed during the retailer's hours of legal sales. So now deliveries. So here's just some general authority. The authority, this authorizes entities to sell alcoholic beverages to a consumer and deliver them directly to the consumer at another location. The selling entity may conduct the delivery itself or contract with a delivery company to make that delivery, and depending on the applicable laws explained in this presentation. So your delivery location, this location must be a different address from the restaurant. It may not be to an adjacent location or a location that's under the control of the restaurant. And appropriate delivery locations are typically the recipient's private residence or a place of business or that of another. So the delivery must be made to a location that is not a licensed or permitted by the TABC. a location where the sale of that type of beverage is legal, so in a wet area, and the location is in the same county, city, or town as the retailer's premise, or not further than 2 miles beyond the city limits in which that seller is located. Your delivery time must be completed during the selling entity's legal hours of sale. And the consumer delivery permit also allows for reasonable deviation. Okay, so let's go to those wine and beer only locations. They may deliver the order if they hold the consumer delivery permit, if they contract with another company that holds the consumer delivery permit to deliver the product, or if they deliver it on their own with their local cartage permit. Now, brew pubs, though, that hold a beer and wine permit, they are not eligible for offsite delivery. So they can only do to-go sales on their premise. Now, the delivery contents, this applies to the E and the CD permit deliveries. There's no limit on the number of beers, ales, wines, and or distilled spirits, and alcohol does not need to be accompanied with food. Now, your packaging, the alcohol may be delivered in containers sealed by the beer and wine retailer. And then these BG retailers may mix and sell for delivery wine and beer-based cocktails. Your delivery person, if they're using their e-permit, that delivery person must be 18 or older, and the CD permit, they must be 21 years of age or older. Now, your recipients, of course, your recipients are always going to be 21 years of age or older, and they cannot be intoxicated. Delivery completion must actually deliver to the eligible recipient, and you cannot merely leave the alcohol at the address. You actually have to give it to the person. Delivery time, your e-permit deliveries, they must be completed during the retailer's sale of legal hours. And for your CD permits, we're going to review that here in just a moment. Now, your deliveries made by mixed beverage restaurants. Okay, so current Texas statute, in order to be able to deliver mixed beverages to deliver and everything, they must hold a TABC food and beverage certificate. However, with this disaster proclamation, the FB permit is not required, but you still do have to have a permanent food preparation facility at your premise. There are 3 different options for delivery. You may deliver the order if the restaurant holds the consumer delivery permit. Again, you can contract with a delivery company that holds the CD permit, or you may deliver the order using your mixed beverage or RM permit authority. And then this also applies to brew pubs that hold a mixed beverage permit. Now, your delivery contents, there is no limit on the number of beers, ales, wines, or distilled spirits, and alcohol must be accompanied with a food order, and appetizers do count, but this food must have been prepared on the mixed beverages premise. Your order packaging, alcohol must be in containers sealed by the manufacturer. Distilled spirits must be in containers that do not exceed 375 milliliters. And no retailer mixed drinks of any kind may be delivered. That is regular Texas statute authority right there. Now, of course, there is a temporary change based on the governor, and this is the same for your to-go transactions. We are allowing restaurants and everything to seal with an adhesive label a mixed drink that states the name of the permit and states alcoholic beverage on it. The restaurant places the retail sealed containers in a bag that is sealed with a zip tie, and the mixed drink is not transported in the passenger area of the motor vehicle. Now, that is part of the Texas Penal Code. Your delivery person. So now if it's just the mixed beverage or the restaurant permits that are making the delivery, their employee must be 21 years of age or older. And we'll review the CD permit here in just a moment. Your delivery recipient, of course, it must be delivered to the address that the order was placed for. The person must be 21 or older and may not be intoxicated. Your delivery completion, the delivery person must acknowledge completion of delivery on a software application, or the delivery person may have the recipient sign a receipt. And this can also be electronic. Of course, with the COVID and everything, the governor has currently waived this. Your delivery time for the mixed beverage and RM permits, and they must be completed during the retailer's legal sales, and the CD permit we'll review in just a moment. Now your private clubs, again, they can't do to-go sales, and they also cannot do delivery sales. So now here's your consumer delivery permit. So a CD permit holder can deliver, they can be delivery companies who can deliver alcohol to consumers on behalf of the retailers. And then of course the restaurant can also obtain a CD permit, which will allow them to sell and deliver alcohol to the consumers directly. Now, eligible delivery companies are those that contract with or employ individuals for the delivery of retail goods to consumers. Eligible restaurants have to have one of the following. They have to either have that BG permit, an MB with a FB certificate, or an RM. Now, no FB is required if you have permanent food facilities, only for the duration of Governor Abbott's disaster proclamation. Now your delivery contents. So this is the types of beverage that may be delivered depend on the authority of the underlying retailer that make and sell to the consumer. Your order packaging, the alcohol packaging requirements limitations are determined by the authority of the underlying retailer that makes the sale to the consumer. Your delivery person must be 21 years of age or older and hold a valid driver's license. Your recipient, they must present valid proof of identification, must prove that they are 21 years of age or older. They may not be intoxicated, and they must be at the delivery address that they put on the order. Again, this is for your consumer delivery permit. So the delivery completion, again, they need to refer to the license type of the retailer making the sale. So, you know, we have some areas that are wet for beer and wine only. We have some areas that are wet for everything. So make sure that your delivery areas are appropriate for the product that you are delivering. Your delivery time, they should be completed during the underlying retailer's legal hours of sale. However, they can complete delivery outside of that time if the driver receives the alcoholic beverage from the retailer during legal hours of sale hours, and they complete the delivery within a reasonable amount of time after leaving the retailer's premise. Now, an incomplete delivery, so the driver must return the products to the retailer as soon as reasonably possible. The driver and delivery company cannot sell the products to another person, and the retailer must document all returns of undeliverable alcohol. Now let's move on to liability. So here's some common violations for to-go and deliveries. Providing, selling, or serving alcohol to a minor or to intoxicated persons, delivering to a dry area or otherwise illegal area, delivering order outside the retailer's hours of legal sale or a reasonable time thereafter, violating any other provision of the Alcoholic Beverage Code. So vicarious liability for to-go and deliveries. So TBC permit holders are vicariously liable for any violation of the Alcoholic Beverage Code committed by their agents, servants, or employees. This means that if someone is delivering an order that includes alcohol to a consumer on behalf of a license or permit holder, the license or permit holder will be liable if delivery is made to a minor or intoxicated person. And you're going to be held liable in the same manner as if the violation actually occurred on your licensed location. Now, this is your liability for the non-CD permit transactions for retailer. Retailers are vicariously liable for any violation of the code committed by their agents, servants, or employees conducting deliveries to consumers. And what's the risk? Of course, various TABC administrative penalties and your license or permit to sell alcohol. Do a quick review of safe harbor via seller server certification. So retailers may be absolved from violations by their agents, servants, or employees if they meet the following minimum requirements. The retailer requires all its agents, servants, and employees involved in the sale, service, or delivery of alcohol to attend commission-approved training. The agent, servant, or employee who committed the violation possesses a valid current seller server training certificate at the time of the violation, and the retailer has not directly or indirectly encouraged the agent, servant, or employee to violate the law. So your seller server certification, TABC will not take administrative action against a license or permit holder when an employee sells or serves an alcoholic beverage to a minor or intoxicated person if the seller server is not the owner or an officer of the company, that they currently hold a current seller server training certificate. All employees that sell, serve, or deliver and their immediate managers are certified within 30 days of their hire date. The employer has written policies for reasonable alcohol service and consumption and ensures that each employee has read and understands these policies. And the employer does not directly or indirectly encourage the employee to violate the law. This course is available by third-party vendors, which are listed on our TABC website, and that certification is valid for 2 years. And just remember too that state law does not require this certification. It is just something that we highly encourage. Your delivery driver, what are their liabilities? Delivery drivers are responsible for any criminal violations of the code they personally commit. There's nothing in the code that personally protects delivery drivers from the violations they commit in the course of delivering on behalf of the business that does not hold a consumer delivery permit. Let's do a quick overview of the CD permit transactions. So when a retailer uses a delivery company that holds a CD permit, the liability, the retailers are not going to be liable for any violations that are committed by the CD permit holder or their agents or employees. The retailer has sold that alcoholic beverage to a consumer and transferred possession to a delivery company that holds a CD permit. So there's no requirement for the retailer to confirm that the CD permittee has the TABC's delivery driver training certificate. Now, the retailer would be held liable, though, if they have a contract that agrees that they will not be selling these products to a dry location. Now, your CD permit holder, when the liability holds, when the retailer holds a CD permit, the CD permit holders are liable for violations of the code committed by their agents or employees conducting the deliveries. What's at risk? Of course, still you're subject to TABC administrative penalties, and of course your permit as well. Now, you're not going to be held liable if the CD permittee has not encouraged the driver to violate the law, and the driver has the Texas Responsible Alcohol Delivery Certification, or the driver completes the delivery with an app that complies with TABC Rules 35.7. Criminal negligence negates this protection from liability. So TABC may suspend a CD permit if the permittee or person acting on its behalf delivered with criminal negligence. The CD permit holder can rebuke this if they show that they held a valid Texas Responsible Alcohol Delivery Certification at the time of the delivery, and that they completed the delivery due to a technical malfunction of the delivery software application. Deliveries of alcohol to locations where the sale is not legal to a dry area. It is illegal to deliver alcohol to a dry area. Your only defense and everything, if the retailer, the CD permit holder, or driver relied on publicly available information produced by TABC. the information indicated that the respective address was wet for that type of alcoholic beverage being delivered. And this defense is not applicable to a person using information other than what is produced publicly by TABC. Your delivery driver, they are responsible for any criminal violations of the code they personally commit. They are held liable for delivering alcohol to a minor intoxicated person. They are presumed to not have been criminally negligent if the driver held a valid TABC, Texas Responsible Alcohol Delivery certification, and completed the delivery due to a technical malfunction of the delivery software application. Now, what is that Texas Responsible Alcohol Delivery certification? This is a training course for those who drive for entities that hold a consumer delivery permit. It protects both the CD permit holder and its drivers from various violations. It's available through the TABC website beginning September 1st of 2020, so just in a few days. The cost is going to be $25 per permittee, and the certification is valid for 2 years. The delivery app, now this is going to protect both the CD permit holder and the delivery driver from various violations. You're going to want to make sure that it meets the minimum requirements. You're going to want to have it assessed, possibly. It is free, and it's going to confirm that that application has certain features and verifies that the recipient is 21, as non-intoxicated, and other necessary features. And there are instructions for getting the app assessment that will be available on our website. Now, when should you get it assessed? You know, it is not necessary, but it is certainly encouraged. You can do it at any time. You can have it done before or after a violation occurs. You can also seek app assessment for liability protection after violation occurs. We just have to make sure that it actually does meet all of the qualifications of Rule 35.7. And it does need to be reassessed anytime there's any sort of specific changes or modifications to the application. So let's do a quick summary because I'm running a little over, so I can answer questions for everyone. For your to-go and delivery transactions, the BG permits, they do not have to have food, and the containers may be sealed by the retailer. For your mixed beverage restaurants, they do have to contain food. They can currently now be containers that are sealed by the retailer. Of course, this is all only available during the COVID disaster. Make sure that you're just following all of our requirements. Deliveries can be conducted by a retailer under its own permit authority, by a CD permit holder, or a delivery company that holds the CD permit. Of course, your liability, you just want to make sure that you are not selling to minors or intoxicated persons. You want to ensure that you're delivering to wet areas. Just know that the seller server and the TRAD certifications are not interchangeable, and deliveries conducted under the consumer delivery permit provide greater liability protection than those under the retailer's permit. Okay. I'm done with this. I'm going to go over and so we can do any sorts of chats and everything. But if there's any sort of questions that I can't answer and you want to ask again later, you can always email to stakeholder@tabc.texas.gov. Okay, stop sharing. Sorry, I know that was really quick and fast, and I hope that it answers questions for everyone. And I hear that this is pre-recorded too, so you can go back and slow it down.
That's right. No, thank you, Kara. That was great. It was incredibly informative, and we're already getting some good questions. So we'll dive into that. But before we do, I do want to bring Maurice and Ellis into the conversation too. And just hear from two of our operators who are really, I think, doing a great job with Alcohol to Go. Would love to hear more from y'all. We'll start with Maurice. What is Alcohol to Go meant for your business? You know, how has it helped you carry on through this crisis?
You know what? First of all, it's a great opportunity for us. It's a great opportunity for us in certain ways. The most important one right now is sales. So since we started the Alcohol to Go and the Bar to Go, we have been able to add a 6 to 7% overall gross revenue on a weekly basis. But to put things in perspective, out of the 100% of liquor sales that we have a week, 15% are coming from alcohol sales to go or our bar to go that is set up outside of the restaurant. Then, labor. We have been able to generate close to 32 hours between direct and indirect labor. So that has helped us bring 2 more people to the team. That is amazing. Content for social media, and we have an expert here, Ellis and his company. They do it so well, So alcohol is a trending topic. It has always been, but now they're giving us the opportunity to create funny memes or more funnier, catchier type of marketing or advertising. So that has helped us a lot. And the most important for us is that right now we can deliver the Costa experience to the comfort of your home. So now people, before they could only order tacos, tostadas, or food, now they can pair with their favorite drinks. So we see different things that have been benefiting us. So sales, content for online presence, our customers, or delivering Costa Pacifica to the comfort of their home, and labor.
That's great. Ellis, what about you? What are you seeing out there? I know you've done a great job of leveraging margaritas to go in particular. Oh, you're on mute. I need a sign I can just hold up. Says you're on mute.
Right. Like the guy with the cardboard sign on the. Yeah, I think Maurice hit the nail on the head with experience. So I think what we've seen is that creating an experience for the customers that feels like a restaurant experience to go has been where we've seen the most success. So we've tried everything from just 6-packs of beer to fully packaged margaritas in a kit with the cut limes and the whole experience around it. And what we saw was almost no movement at all, and just regular packaged beer and great movement in the margarita kind of kit experience, as it were. So it's been fantastic. I mean, it allows us to stabilize sales and keep our staff together. We're actually able to rehire employees from other restaurants that, were American restaurants that were not able to do margaritas in the same way. But,
right.
It was fantastic.
That's awesome. And do y'all think it's important, that we continue the alcohol to go option, either by passing a bill or having, Abbott extend the emergency order? I mean, is this something that you see as important to your long-term business strategy? Ellis, we'll start with you this time.
Sure. Yeah, I think it's very important, and I think the consumers are showing that it's that when you go to eat at a restaurant, typically there is a material amount of alcohol that people buy with food, right? Or a material number of customers will buy alcohol with food, I should say, and that's the experience they want. So whether it's a takeaway or delivered experience, they still want that experience from a restaurant. And I think it's important for us as a state, especially as we're fighting tax revenue problems, to maintain every opportunity to increase tax revenue.
That's great. Maurice, what about you? What do you think about how it fits into your long-term business plan?
So you know what, Ellie said it very well when he addressed the experience side of it. But also, to go drive-through pickup, curbside, it's right there in the popularity charts right now. So it's here to stay. Also, restaurateurs, we saw it coming, but things just sped up and are here faster than when we thought. And everybody, I mean, you've seen how they have adapted so fast, and it's wonderful to see that. But on top of that, giving us the opportunity to add a hot item to the to-go experience. It's an item that needs no introduction, it needs no sales pitch, and it increases your PPA like that. Mm-hmm. Yes, please. And I know that, I mean, I'm talking on behalf of a business owner, but I think on behalf of TABC as well. I mean, taxes should go up as well, It's a win-win.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Ty, do you want to go through some of the questions we've gotten, probably for Kara, in the chat?
Yes, give me just 1 second.
Sure.
Let me get those pulled up here. One of them says we hold MB and BP certifications, and they have multiple beers on tap. Some they said they make in their BP, and others are guest taps. can we sell all tap beers to go, even those that we don't make?
For the mixed beverage locations, yes, with the brew pubs, yes, they can sell to go all of it, yes,
Awesome. Another question I had, has there been any changes as to the standards for alcohol to go as far as security and packaging?
I guess I mean, yes, there have been some changes and everything. As stated in the presentation, everything, a beer and wine location, everything, they can sell, manufactured stills, or they can sell alcohol products that they make themselves and everything. So your beer or wine based margaritas or daiquiris and things like that, they can sell that to go, just same as they did beforehand. But now your mixed beverages, when all of this first happened and we started to allow deliveries and to go sales, as stated, you all were having to do the kits to do like your margaritas to go and stuff, and like the size of the bottle for the distilled spirits were 375 liters, and everything had to be manufactured, sealed. Now we've made some, we relaxed some and everything, and allowed you to be able to do your own mixed drinks, so you can actually do your margaritas to go. There is no size restriction for the to go that are pre-mixed, but if you are going to sell that individual just distilled spirit bottle, it still needs to be that 375 milliliters or smaller.
Got it. Another thing someone would like to know is, could you go into detail on what is required for the stickers for the to-go mixed drinks?
Oh, the TBC stamps. Okay, so so the 375 liter bottles, honestly, it really depends on how the permittee is purchasing from the local distributor. So if the local distributor only has 5 bottles of the 375, they need to stamp each bottle. But if they actually have a case of those 375, they can actually just stamp the case and sell you the case with just the stamp on the case. And once the case is empty, then you're going to, I guess, scratch or however you're going to remove that label and everything. But I mean, if they're just selling you the bottles by themselves, each of those bottles has to be stamped, and then you're still going to scratch the stamp though whenever you go and sell it to the customer.
And
Kara, hold on one second. I think they might be talking about the sealing when you mix a margarita and then seal it. I think I'm reading into it, but oh yeah, Brian says yes. Can you go into detail on that a little bit?
So the sealing of that, sorry.
No worries. There's a lot of stickers and stamps.
So whenever a mixed beverage location does a pre-mixed margarita, I guess it's going to kind of be up to you how you're going to seal it and everything. If you're putting it in a styrofoam cup that has, the lid over it that has like the straw holder, you're definitely going to want to put tape over that straw area and tape it down to the container as well to make sure that that lid is staying on there. And then you're going to write your name of your location on there, that it is an alcoholic beverage. And you're going to put it in a plastic bag that you're going to, some places have, like they said, the zip tie, some places have like the automatic sealer machines and everything that like seal the bag, that works too, but that's really how you're going to have to seal those pre-made mixed drinks. So,
and Ellis, Maurice, what have y'all seen in terms of, I know I've seen like branded stickers, and people get really creative with how they bring in their branding into that seal. What have y'all seen out there that's kind of cool and innovative?
Can I take this one first, Ellis?
Yeah.
So something that I've seen pretty cool is that people are using the bubble tea machines to seal the cups. But the coolest one that I've seen, and I don't mean to throw anybody under the bus here or put it on a spot on you, Ellis, but the way you guys did your margarita party package with the labels, the presentation and everything, man, that was amazing. It was great. I think it's the best one that I've seen so far.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate that. We've actually received some. I don't know, Reese, if you've received. I think Grubhub might be sending them out. Some more official looking seals that some people we've received. Maybe I can't keep all the. We've got so many delivery providers now, and they all send stuff. I don't know which one sent them, but some of those. I've seen some people just do masking tape and do like a cool looking stamp. So
Yeah, I mean, in terms of the requirements, you've got to have your name, your company name, and alcoholic beverage, right, Kara? That's the kind of legal bare minimum. But yeah, we've seen really interesting, it's an opportunity, right, to extend your brand, to extend your marketing. And so we wanted to make the legal restrictions as kind of easy to comply with as possible, but then give you license to kind of go crazy with the branding and the marketing and make it a fun thing for consumers. So I think it's one of those places where you can get really creative.
You know, we did also adding to that, we did a sticker that it was pretty fun because we have a few branding elements inside the restaurant. One of them is a captain. So what we did is kind of a round sticker, goes on top of the lid that says, by captain's orders, don't drink and drive, drink responsibly. And it's a picture of the captain.
Great.
So it's kind of like,
Yeah.
That's a great example. Yeah.
Perfect. How do we confirm that third-party services such as Uber Eats, Waiter, Instacart have a current CD permit?
Well, first, obviously, you could just ask them, right? See what their permit number is and everything. And even to verify that, you can just go to our website, which is getting changed up September 1st. So it's going to look different September 1st, which is going to be great. And it's a lot more user-friendly. Like, I love the layout that they've done for it. But you'll go to our public inquiry search, and you can type in that permit number that they give to you, and you can verify that that's actually an active permit. Or you can even type in their trade name, too, to see whether or not it's an active permit for them. But they should have that, and they should be able to give that to you. So,
regarding liability, if Waiter, Uber Eats, or DoorDash fail to ID the person they are delivering our alcohol to, is the bar, restaurant, or restaurant liable, or is Waiter, Uber Eats, DoorDash liable?
yes, it's that third-party company for the fact that they will have that CD permit through TABC. Once you hand that product over to them, your liability is done. So that is all on them. So they have to verify that that person is 21. They have to verify that that person is not intoxicated. They have a lot of requirements to them, and that is all going to fall on them. Yes.
One more I see here. Is there a way or a protocol to deliver the alcohol without contact?
Oh, because the thing is, I mean, we have to verify that we're delivering it to someone who's 21.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, they're going to have to open the door. Maybe they have the screen door. You're staying 6 feet apart, something like that. You know, asking them, you know, to show the ID and tell you their age and things like that. I mean, definitely keep that 6 feet of distance. Still, you know, verify. I mean, I know it's hard sometimes. There are some people who are 21 and they still look young, and then there's the young people who look like they're 21. You know, obviously some of that is, you know, best judgment things, but you definitely still need to ask them for that birth date and, you know, try to see that driver's license as best as possible. You know, if you're wanting to do the contactless delivery, you know, maybe you ask them to send you a copy of their driver's license in some way. I don't know. You know, just get as creative as you can to be able to verify that they are 21. So
Great. And do you anticipate the guidelines changing to wine by the glass?
oh, I have no idea on that one for you.
Yeah, so Kara, just to clarify, the current rules, right, is any kind of wine needs to be manufacturer sealed to be sold for to go. Okay.
That is correct.
Got it.
That is something TRA will look at. I'll save Kara from that one. She's the regulator, the enforcer, not the lawmaker. But you know, TRA is always interested in expanding the alcohol to go options as long as we're ensuring that it's being done safely and people are following the rules. I think the good news is we see alcohol to go working really well right now. We even had Chairman Guerin on one of our PAC panels yesterday. And he said, direct quote, alcohol to go is working, right? So to have our lawmakers see that it's being done responsibly and safely and people are following the rules, that's going to be critical to our ability to continue to innovate, expand, and convince lawmakers that we can do this safely and responsibly. So thank you to all of our restaurateurs out there who are doing this safely and carefully. We really appreciate that.
So do we.
And does the delivery driver have to be 21 when transporting alcohol?
Yes.
Thanks.
I saw one more tie about is serving at a waterfront location for to go on boats. Is the packaging the same? Packaging requirements the same in terms of, you know, sealing and the bag and the zip tie and all of that?
That's all the same, yes.
Perfect. All right, well, we are right at 10:45 and got through a ton of questions. So thank y'all very much. Thank you to everyone who tuned in today. Great participation, great questions, and really awesome information from our panelists. So thank you all so much. Ty, did I forget anything?
You did not forget anything. Look, we had one more to come in, but we're pressed for time. I'll send that to you and we can get it out. So, but we'd
Perfect.
like to thank everyone for joining us today. Thank you so much.
Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Bye, guys. Thank you very much.
Bye, guys. Talk to y'all later.